I'd like to call this September 18th meeting of the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission to order. My name is Jim Bledsoe, and I am chairman of the commission. At this time, I'd please like to ask everybody to turn their cell phones to vibrate. And if you do have to take a call, please step out into the lobby, and we'd appreciate it. There's a tablet being passed around the room. If you would, please sign that and put what group or special interest you're with. That way we'll have a record of your attendance. When we are doing our committee meetings today, when the committees are meeting, if you want to address the commission on that topic, please come to the front, state your name, and address either the chairman of that committee or me, and not the audience. And if you have a topic not on the agenda, please wait till the end, and I will ask if there anything else to be brought before the commission. I do see Mr. Boyd Barker is here from Department of Ag, Mr. Ron Crabtree from Quail Forever, Mr. Mike Butler's here, CEO of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, and Mr. Ricky Scott, chairman of the Commercial Fishermen's Association. At this time, I'd like for everyone to please stand, and Mr. Bill Cox will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day and the opportunity to live and meet in a free country. We ask you to bless our servicemen and women and keep us free. Bless our country. We thank you so much for the agency and the men and women that work hard and do a great job managing the wildlife of our state. We ask you to bless the commission, that our decisions and actions will be pleasing to you. We especially thank the families and represented here today with these children that are shooting and getting in the outdoors, because they are our future. We ask you to bless us and take us all home safely. In Jesus' name. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bill. Miss Barbara, would you please call the roll?
Chad Baker.
Here.
Jim Bledsoe.
Here.
Harold Cannon.
Here.
Jeff Cook.
Here.
Bill Cox.
Here.
Kurt Holbert.
Here.
Connie King. Jeff McMillan.
Here.
Jim Ripley. Bill Swan.
Here.
Trey Teague.
Here.
David Watson.
Here.
Jamie Woodson. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Miss Barbara. We have the minutes from the August 21st meeting in Morristown. We can go through them if you want me to.
Move they be approved as written.
Commissioner Swan made a motion. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Ms. Woodson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, Director Carter, do you have any announcements this time?
No, sir, not right now.
Thank you. Any announcements from the commission? If not, we'll move on to Mr. Don Crawford, Assistant Chief of I&E Division, for a presentation on the latest statistics from NASP.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay. It's going to be just short, brief comments about the NASP program. National Archery and School Program, like we say, is a nonprofit foundation. It was established to teach international style target archery as part of an in-school curriculum in grades 4 through 12. NASP is a cooperative agreement between the conservation agencies and school programs to stimulate improved educational performance, as well as participation in outdoor type activities among young people. NASP is now in 47 states. We're only missing Vermont, Rhode Island, and Delaware, and right now there's about right at 14 countries in the program, so it is an international program as well. Tennessee was the 17th state to join the NASP in 2004, and as of today, we've got just a little over 300 schools Right now, each year we're reaching right about 35,400 students a year that are taking the NAS program in school during school hours. What NAS does for us, about 79% of the kids has increased their interest in target archery. About 77% had never or very rarely shot a bow at all. Because everybody thinks of that first bow you had, always had that little stick bow and you lick the thing, lick the end of it, you shoot and it sticks on the wall or whatever, it's kind of some of the people's first bows they've ever had, yeah. 56% increased interest in the bow hunting. 35% of the NAS graduates buy their personal archery equipment, which is pretty huge. That tax on that does fund some of our hunter education as well. And 30% increased interest in other shooting sports, just like this classic clay target program or whatever. How things have changed nationwide. As of right now, the school numbers have jumped from 9.3% to more than 13,500 schools in the past year. As we're talking about, nationwide, international here. More than 2.23 million kids have took NAS lessons during the 2014-15 school year. Kind of put that in perspective, the Dixie baseball youth has right at 2 million, a little over 2 million as well, kids that that participate in baseball as well. So NASP is right there amongst them as well. To date, more than 15 million students have participated in the program since it began in 2002. There were reported 7 million archers in the U.S. in 2002, and today that number exceeds 18 million. The 2015 national tournament attendance, which was in Louisville, Kentucky last year, had an increase of 15.3%. Had 12,045 archers came to that event last year. Our state tournament this year, we had our biggest ever. This year we had just a little over 1,600 kids come to our state tournament this year. And next year is probably, I see another, we might exceed 2,000 this coming year, I hope. We're going looking at it. Keeps growing every year. 763 schools participated in the national tournament in Louisville, and this year there was $105,000 in scholarships for colleges was awarded. I'm sure that number is going to stay the same next year as well. So there's some big money out there for sure. Growing involvement. The 2015 World Tournament was held here in July at the Music City Center downtown Nashville. The attendance climbed by 50%. With almost 5,000 archers competing this year. It's the biggest one they've ever had since they started it. 5 countries participated in the World Tournament this year, and now we have a National Archery Day, which is now the second Saturday in May. So we can see archery is kind of moving along. The 2016 World Tournament is going to be held this coming year in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Roy, the president of the National Archery and School Program, is going to come up here in a minute. Roy just kind of mentioned to me just a minute ago, they like Nashville so well, they're wanting to come back maybe in 2017 here. So we're going to see. Well, if we can get y'all's blessing again, we'll see what we can do from there, that's for sure. But that's just a quick rundown of some of the stats that NASP's doing around here. If you got any questions, I'd be more than glad to take them. Roy could probably add a lot more to this than that, but I just want to give you a quick rundown of NASP is still growing and it's doing very well, for sure.
Thank you, Don. I think I've been in this room 2 times before coming here today. Way back around 2000 or 2001, I was in here talking to you about the elk project, the elk restoration project. I was the wildlife director in Kentucky at the time. I think maybe there might have been 1 or 2 of you that were here then, but probably some turnover since. And the second time was when Tennessee was thinking about getting into the National Archery in the Schools program. You were the 17th state to get in the program out of the 47 they're in, so you're in the first half. You beat Mississippi by 8 states in about 4 months, if that's important to you. There are only 11 countries in the NASP. We added British Virgin Islands in August. John put 14 up there because he counts Ohio, Texas, and Alaska as extra countries. And we count Ohio that way sometimes in Kentucky. We gave out, like John said, $105,000 in cash scholarships, your choice, any education you want after high school, whether it's a beauty school, auto mechanic school, or full-fledged master's degree. That's what that cash goes to. Top boy and girl get $20,000 each at that tournament. Nationwide, 246,000 was given this last school year in the state tournaments and national. Next year at nationals, we'll increase Dawn by 59 more thousand, because the top high school, second high school, and third high school, each member of the 24-person team will also get 1,000, 750, or 500 towards education. Our board wants to go to $1 million with scholarships nationally in the U.S. Before too long. We should be at $500,000 next year, because we have a standing offer to the states. If they will come up with $10,000 of new scholarship money at their state tournament, we will match it. And we're going to hold that out for 1 year to make sure we can afford it. If they all get in, we're in trouble. So the program is growing very, very well. It's hard to believe when we were planning this thing back home in Kentucky that it would ever get off the drawing board. We were after 120 schools. We were after about 24,000 kids in Kentucky, and then we'd be done. We got that. We gave ourselves 3 years to do it. We did it in 13 months. And now we are bigger than Little League Baseball and continuing to grow. We were so pleased to bring the World Tournament to Nashville last year. We were a little concerned because there are a lot of great big giant buildings, and we wouldn't believe how long it took me to get from the hotel 2.9 miles from here to you folks around all those buildings. But the public loved it. The school, there were 303 schools that came. About 300 of the kids were from Tennessee, came to the World Tournament there in Nashville. Africa sent some countries, Canada did, the United Kingdom came, and they've only been in the program about 1 year and 3 months. And they were thrilled to walk around your downtown and see the beauty of this state. And they know Nashville. They'd already heard of it before they got here. In fact, a few of the kids were dressed for the occasion. They had taller boots than I could come up with. We'd already locked in with Myrtle Beach for 17. We've already received an offer from the Music City Center to come back as soon as we can, and they'll give us the entire thing, all 4 halls, A, B, C, and D. And we run our Bullseye program. We also run our 3D challenge, the NASP IBO 3D challenge. We broke the world record for the largest 3D tournament in the world this year as well, with 2,876 students shooting that. The old record, by the way, was 2,500. Well, I won't give you any more numbers because you probably haven't memorized more than 99% of those so far, and I hope you'll do well on the quiz that Don's going to give you later today. But I've come here today because we were so pleased. We came to Nashville, number one, because it was a destination, a worldwide destination. Number two, we had to have support. We have 6 people on staff, and we'll add 1 more on Monday. The most kid-centric educator I've ever met in my life. He is leaving the Department of Education as deputy commissioner to become our 7th employee. He'll become a vice president on Monday, and Tommy Floyd's his name, principal of the year, administrator of the year, all kinds of awards. And we're going to magnify the academic branch of NASP. You're going to start hearing about teacher conferences, alumni associations with NASP graduates, so we can longitudinally track these kids. 27% of them said they bought a hunting license because of NASP at our national tournament in 2014. Tommy is going to take us down that road even stronger and stronger to further anchor this program as part of the school culture. But I came here then to give a couple of plaques to this agency for its support, because if you folks hadn't said we can come up with some staff for you, some lane officials, because it takes about 1 lane official for every 12 to 15 kids that are shooting at a time, and we didn't have those people. If he'd said, nope, we can't do it, sorry, we'd have gone somewhere else. But you did, and it was beautiful to see your patch on those hats and on those sleeves, and all those kids got to see the TWRA out there helping them have the fun of their life. So I've got a couple of plaques to award. They're identical. I offered to get you a bigger one, but Don said, no, get him one the same size as mine. So I've got a couple of plaques for you folks, and if you'll come on up here, I'd like to give these to you, and I'll read it to you real quick. It's an 8-page plaque. It's real tiny font, so no, it's not that big, and it won't take that long. Okay, I'll give you one of them right now, and then let me read this one. This is congratulations and thank you to the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency for hosting the 2015 NASP World Tournament and the NASP All-Star Championship, because all those countries kept their 16 archers over for 3 more days, and they competed in a double elimination match play at the Music City Center, Nashville, Tennessee, July 22 through 28. Equipment and staffing provided by the TWRA were determining factors in bringing these prestigious events to Tennessee. Both tournaments set new world records. World tournament participation was 48.71, and the All-Star Championship was joined by 5 countries: the U.S., Canada, UK, South Africa, and Namibia. And by the way, if you ever call UK England, they will correct you right now, because they've told me it's not just England, it's Wales and Scotland and so forth. So, Ed, I want to give this plaque to you. Okay, all right. And thank you to the commission for getting them involved in that. Usually they get a box for me to stand on for these pictures. That's why they picture about me. Thank you, Commission.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to quickly say before, I don't know if you're going to be able to stay with us or not, but I wanted you to know we really appreciate the partnership and everything that's going on. And ask the chairman if I could kind of go out of order here for a second, but it's important to us to participate in these kind of programs in more ways than one. And I know we're going to talk about Scholastic Clay Target program in a minute as well, but I just wanted to mention to you, I just came yesterday from our annual meeting. The Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies meets once a year, and as a part of that, the trust funds, which when you buy a bow, an arrow, a gun, ammunition, part of that excise tax comes back, and that's what funds our Pittman Robertson programs and some of the others. But in any case, yesterday, recognizing how important all of this is, the Archery Trades Association, along with the Manufacturers Association, met and urged a changing in the national language, the legislative language, this could get really boring, but to change the language so that it allows a greater percentage of the money that's recognized into all the Fish and Wildlife Agencies to be used in programs like NASP and SCTP, because before only a small percentage of it could be used. So that, just to let everybody here know how important the industry thinks that is. Those changes were voted on unanimously. And the part I wanted to bring in, since you're talking NASP, there was a glitch in the system that wouldn't allow us to do it with the firearms money. So the Archery Trades Association said, hey, shooting shotguns and everything is just as important as shooting bows. Let's push them together. So the Archery Trades Association said, we'll take that part out of our excise money to help fund the shotgun programs. So that's the interaction that industry's got going on this, and I thought it might be interesting to the folks here, because to let them know how much industry in the states to support these nationwide. But we really do appreciate being recognized and the ability to be a part of NASP, especially on an international platform. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Director Carter. Thank you, Don and Roy. We really appreciate it. So, moving on, Mr. Mike Butler, the CEO of the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, will you please come up?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Mike Butler with the Tennessee Wildlife Federation, and today is a day that we enjoy coming before the Commission. Next month, we'll bring you our annual report on the Scholastic Clay Target Program, but this month, we're here to show off the champions that the program produced and the hard work that they put in. Once again, I'm not going to steal my staff's thunder, but let's just say the 25% of the entire national championship participation came out of Tennessee, which is substantial. There was nobody else closer, and I think these guys will tell you some of the images, or maybe show you some of the images of that. The one thing I did want to do is take the time to let you know we've hired a director. We had Andrew Piercy as our manager. Andrew's still with us. Where's Andrew? There he is, familiar face. But we went out and found a new face, because the program's growing at a point where one person can't even begin to do it. We've started adding a bunch of new pieces to it. Specifically, you'll hear next month about youth hunts that are growing rapidly. But we hired a gentleman by the name of J.W. Worthen, who's behind me to my right. J.W. comes to us from Gander Mountain, where he spent 8 years running the store in Jackson, Tennessee. He took that store if I remember correctly, from the number 113th out of 115 stores in their chain to number 1 in 18 months. And then kept it, I believe, in the top 5 the whole time you were there, didn't you? So we've brought some more talent onto the team. He started in January, and we've already seen some really solid results. And so I want to hand it over to JW and thank you for your support first. But I want to let these guys tell you about these youngsters in front of you that do all the hard work and the parents and coaches that make the program run. Thank you.
Good morning. I don't know if I can hold up after an introduction like that, but it's an honor and a privilege to be here in front of you guys today. We wanted to come out and show you a little bit about the Scholastic Clay Target program and what it truly means. And we figured the best way to do that was to bring out some of our highlighted athletes. And this is just a few of them. We didn't want to fill the whole room full, but this is some of our most distinguished winners from this year. So with that, I will bring up Andrew Piercy. And as he comes up, I wanted to thank you guys for the support to the Tennessee Wildlife Federation and the program, because you are a huge part of that. So thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. Athletes, if you all kind of come up and gather in the little front here area, we'll begin to recognize y'all here in just a second. I'm here this morning to present some of the distinguished athletes from the Tennessee Scholastic Clay Target Program. This past June, TNSCTP held our state championships at the Nashville Gun Club. There were over 2,150 athletes at that, competing in trap, skeet, and sporting clays. These with us here today represent some of the cream of the crop that Tennessee has to offer. Out of the 2,150 that came to the state championships, many of them, up to about 600 of them, came to the Illinois for the national championships, out of a total of 2,500 athletes. And Mike told you we were about a quarter, 20 to 25% of everyone that was there. And we brought home more than our fair share of the awards from that. We brought home 16 individual titles and 8 team titles, more than any other state. In total, Tennessee brought home 103 medals in our positions 1 through 5 from across the country. Today we have just a select ones, and I'll give highlights of some of the national awards that they have received. You want to give out certificates at the time? Thank you, Chairman Bledsoe.
These are not in any particular order, so I will have to dig through them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll kind of go the order we've got them. Yeah, step forward as I kind of read your names off. Trent Crockett from Montgomery County Youth Shooting Sports for the National Open Division Skeet Squad. Is that Seth? Oh, Seth Ratcliffe, also with the Montgomery County Youth Shooting Sports Open Division Skeet Squad. Jordan Osborne from doubles trap and sporting clays, high overall varsity female. Dakota Duke from the Dixon County team for doubles trap and doubles skeet, intermediate entry high overall female. And for our national champion varsity skeet squad from Henry County, we have Caleb Orr, Hunter Fletcher, and then we also have from Henry County their intermediate advanced skeet squad, Bryce Townsend.
Left out Briar Ray on the varsity squad.
Well, it's deeper in the stack. I'll come back to him. Drew James. And then Briar here is also on the varsity skeet squad. And also on the intermediate advanced team and the high overall male, Stuart Archer. And another from Henry County, Sky McLean, who is the national champion varsity skeet squad, and that varsity skeet female high overall winner. From Clarksville, for the national champion, yeah, he's not here. From Clarksville, we have the national champion intermediate entry skeet squad of Elijah McGahey, Hunter Crosby, and Cameron Durrett. I don't have his certificate. There was an error in getting that one printed. I'll get that one taken care of. Okay. These are all that participated in the primary SCTP. Parents and coaches who are here with them, will you all please stand? These guys are, I really want to appreciate the parents and everyone that are here. They do a lot to help with this. I've got one more special athlete that I held till the end. Tennessee has done a tremendous amount in the American shooting sports, but we've also been able to branch out into the international games. Consequently, several of our athletes have been named to the national junior team and have represented the U.S. in competitions around the world. Today, we are fortunate to have with us Miss Ellie Roditas. This past weekend, she won the Junior Women's Bronze Medal in trap at the 2015 International Shooting Sport Federation Shotgun World Championship in Latano, Italy. So she has literally only been back less than a week. To give you a hint, these athletes compete all over the world, all over the country, and do a tremendous job. They're shooting some of the highest scores, in the country and around. They put all of us to shame. Somebody asked, "Do you want to shoot with them?" I said, "No, we'll just let them shoot. My score doesn't really count." But we are extremely proud of all the success that they have had and the success they continue to have. And we look forward to great things for this coming year. Next month, I'll have a more full report that talks about the overall program and how it's going and the growth we have planned for this year and the enhancement of our youth hunting sports program and the different things that we've been doing the past month. We've had some great hunts and have several more things planned. Commissioners, I'd appreciate if we could get a few pictures with you all, and because I know these athletes and these parents would really love it. And other than that, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Andrew. And kids, we're really proud of you, and we're really proud of your parents. I know they had a lot of sacrifice too. If it's all right with everybody, let's take about a 15-minute break, and we'll get some pictures, and then we'll resume with our committees. All right, let's